Hey guys, are you planning on moving to the Okanagan Valley and are wondering if Kelowna is right for you? Well, I'm going to give you a quick, no BS list of pros and cons of what it's like to live in Okanagan's premier city, Kelowna BC. Hi everybody, it's Brett Baholi and welcome back once again to my channel, Brett B Real Estate. Before we get going, if you like the content I'm bringing you, please hit the like button on this video and make sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to keep updated with the latest and greatest, make sure you hit that notification bell so anytime I post a video, you get notified. Now, like I said, today we're here to talk about why you should move to Kelowna BC. And I'm here to give you a short list of pros and cons that might help you make the decision. Now, my background, I wasn't born and raised in the Okanagan. I was born in Northwestern Ontario and I made the trek over here to the Okanagan Valley about 9 years ago. And as I reminisce, I can still remember the feeling of when I drove through Virden and I was coming into Kelowna, into the heart of the Okanagan Valley. So I'm going to try to be as balanced as possible. I'm going to give you pros and I'm going to give you cons, but it's hard to not be biased. I truly do love it here. I think it's the greatest place in Canada. I can't really see myself living anywhere else. So keep that in mind because really, I do want you to come here. Making a move anywhere is a huge decision and can definitely be a stressful one. I pretty much lived in one place my entire life, and when I made the move out here, I literally just picked a spot on the map. It was between here or Vancouver, but I didn't want the hustle and bustle of a gigantic city, so Kelowna seemed like the perfect size for me. And after spending a year here, I ended up moving to Calgary for about 2 years, but there was something that was just missing out there. I miss being by the mountains, the lakes, and I was drawn back to the Okanagan, and I've been here ever since. And honestly, I can't really see myself leaving at this point. So enough chit chat, let's get straight into it. But you know what, it's kind of stuffy in here and it's gorgeous outside, so let's continue this list outside. All right, pro number one, and this may be a little broad in general, but honestly, it's the beauty of this place. The Okanagan Valley, and Kelowna in particular, is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in Canada. You really do have it all when you're here. From the gorgeous mountains inside of the city like Knox Mountain and Mount Boucherie to the big mountains outside of it, less than an hour away like Big White. You have everything from hiking to every downhill sport you can think of. With lakes, you have something for everyone, to the more hustle and bustle on Lake Okanagan, to the much quieter Skaha Lake, and to the incredible eye-catching turquoise colors of Lake Kalamaka. There's going to be something for everyone. I'm just going to warn you though, when you do come here, you're definitely going to get the itch to want to buy a boat. And if you do, please call me and let me know, because I don't want the stress of owning one myself, but I'd be happy to hang out on yours. Listen, I'll pay for gas for the day. But truthfully, I haven't even touched the surface of just how gorgeous it is. You really do have to come here and see it for yourself. And even some of these videos truly just don't do it justice. You have to see it to believe it. And with the good comes the bad. So con number one has to be that Kelowna has become somewhat of a tourist destination, which inherently isn't a bad thing. It gets really busy here in the summer. It's incredibly lively, and the influx of people definitely boosts the local economy. But you know what? I can confidently say that Kelowna was not built to handle such a rapid influx of people. Kelowna isn't known for the best layout of its roads, with the main highway running directly through the city, and the only access to and from West Kelowna is a bridge that tends to get really backed up, especially in the summer on a long weekend. And listen, I don't need to get into it, but we all know about the right-hand lane HOV lane. I'm not going to make any jokes about it because I'm pretty sure it's been beeped to death, but I will say it makes no sense whatsoever. So when the summer comes, you can definitely expect some congestion in the city. So you can expect longer waits than usual when you're downtown, especially in the clubs, the bars, and if you want to book a restaurant in the peak of summer, you better book reservations far enough ahead, even if it's your local spot. But the good thing about this is it's generally only for the peak summer months. So you can pretty much just expect the craziness June to August. And I know the city is constantly working on plans to battle the congestion that happens in the summer, and the city is rapidly growing. And Kelowna's 2040 community plan is definitely focused on densifying certain core areas to help alleviate the issues that come with a rapidly growing population. All right, living in Kelowna, pro number two has to be the climate. Now again, my bias is probably going to come out a bit because yeah, I grew up in Northwestern Ontario, Manitoba, so I'm used to 8 months of winter and minus 40. So moving to the Okanagan Valley, yeah, you could say it was a bit of a pleasant change, but Kelowna's climate really can't be beat. Now, the coast and the island definitely has a much more mild climate, but with that comes a lot more rain. And personally, I'd rather have all 4 seasons, especially for the fact that I've been doing outdoor sports up until December, and I've been in shorts and a t-shirt playing tennis as early as February. So you definitely have some of the benefits of having those really late falls and early springs. Kelowna's winters are generally pretty mild. You get a lot of snow, which is definitely nice to have up at Big White. Its summers are dry and scorching hot, but you don't have that humidity that you get in some places like Manitoba, which really, it kills me. And in the springs, you can generally see a lot more rain, and in the winters, there can be that low-hanging ceiling, which definitely can get to you at times, but I'll definitely take it over 8 months of freezing cold darkness. And today is a typical summer day in the Okanagan Valley. It's in the low 30s. It's absolutely gorgeous out. Barely a cloud in the sky, but the good thing about this dry heat is if you get too hot, you can go in the shade and you'll be pretty okay. So yeah, am I gonna go out on a limb here and say that Kelowna and the Okanagan Valley is some of the best weather in Canada? Yeah, I am. I mean, they call it Kelownafornia for a reason, but please don't say that. I actually regret saying that. Don't use that, and don't tell anyone we call it that. But I will warn you, you definitely turn into a baby quick. When I go visit my family home back in Manitoba, I cannot believe that people can survive in that weather. I don't know how I did it for my entire life. Now, with the good comes the bad. So you have an amazing climate here. You have scorching hot summers, but with that can bring con number 2 of living in Kelowna, BC, and that, unfortunately, it's the forest fires. Now, fortunately, this has been a good year for forest fires so far. Like I said, we had a wet spring, and in the Okanagan, you really do want that. Because a summer that's filled with smoke and you're always worried about evacuating isn't that fun. Now, last year was a bad year for smoke and fires, and in 2020, BC recorded over 670 forest fires. So that can be a burden and a major factor in deciding whether or not you want to come here. I definitely feel like it's worth it. They've been dealing with this for a long time. Now, it does affect a lot of people. Back in 2003, they had one of the worst fires on record, and my wife and her family were directly affected by it and had to evacuate their home. Thankfully, nothing was lost, but there was tons of people who did lose their homes. And listen, I'm not Smokey the Bear, and I'm not an expert in forest fire prevention, but definitely follow the local government bylaws when it comes to fire season. And if there is a forest fire in your area, make sure you have one of the apps that directly tells you what areas are being evacuated, and make sure you stay up to date on it. And a quick pro tip, if you're using a great realtor like myself, we will always make sure to put an insurance clause in your contract to purchase and sale. And if you are buying and your completion or possession date does happen to be within the fire season, which is anywhere from late May to early September, make sure you call your insurance provider and lock yourself into your insurance plan 30 days out. Again, you're really only going to get those tips if you use an expert agent like myself, so make sure you contact me in the description down below. Alright, it feels pretty good to be out of that heat and back in the AC. For the last 2 on the list, we're going to start with the con first so we can at least end on a good note. I'm also going to do this while I'm doing meal prep because, well, I can and a man's got to eat. So the last con we have today is the cost of living in Kelowna. So I will say at this point, at the time of making this video, the cost of living here still isn't outrageous. We're nowhere near the cost of some of the bigger cities like Vancouver and Toronto. But inflation definitely hit us hard as well, so prices are definitely starting to go up. Now, people joke about BC standing for bring cash or having to pay the sunshine tax when you live here. But it is true, I come from Northwestern Ontario and things are a little more expensive here. And I'll give you a brief rundown of some of the average costs. So if you like going out like me, one of the biggest concerns for you is going to be what it costs to eat in this city. Now, I will say groceries have started to creep up a bit, but let's just look purely at going out to eat at restaurants. For 2 people, I would say the average breakfast costs anywhere from $30 to $40, lunch anywhere from $70 to $80, and dinner anywhere from $140 plus. And that's definitely going to vary depending on how much you have to drink there, because drinks are definitely the most expensive part of the meal. I know that now because I have a pregnant wife and our restaurant bills have definitely been cut in half. The average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is roughly around $1,874. And if we look at last month's stats for real estate in the Okanagan, the average cost for a condo is $485,500. The average cost for a townhouse is $715,000. And the average cost for a single-family residential home is $1,055,000. And with the average salary of Kelowna only being $47,435, it can be tough to break in the market. But if you get a great realtor who's going to negotiate the best price for you, it's going to be a little bit easier. Just saying. Alright, meals prep, let's get to the last pro. So like I said, I wanted to end the video on a good note. So the last pro is the fact that you live in a city here in Kelowna, but it definitely has a small town feel. And you know what? That might not be something that's a pro for everyone, but for me it definitely was. I grew up in a town of only 1,200 people. I've lived in big cities like Calgary, and I just found that the size of Kelowna is perfect. It's really easy to get around here. I mean, besides peak summer rush hour, you can definitely get across the city in 30 minutes. And although it has all the fun, excitement, and amenities that a city has, you definitely don't feel like you're stuck in here. Really, 10 minutes in any direction and you're in the middle of some of the most beautiful nature the Okanagan Okanagan Valley has to offer. If you don't have a lot of time on the weekends, it's so easy to get out of the city for day trips and hit some of the other beautiful locations located in the valley. And the neighborhoods kind of mirror that. You can be downtown in the core with all the hustle and bustle and excitement of downtown. You can be kind of out where I am in the Missions, the Rutlands, and the suburb areas, which is quiet, peaceful, family orientated. Or you can be somewhere like Southeast Kelowna, which feels like you're living in the countryside, but you're only actually 5 to 10 minutes from downtown. I definitely feel like the communities here are great. Each neighborhood has its own community feel, and the city has tons of friendly people. All right, guys, that is my quick and compact list of 3 pros and 3 cons of why you should or shouldn't live in Kelowna, BC. Again, I'm a realtor here in Kelowna, so I come with some bias, but I really do love it, and I can't imagine living anywhere else. Again, if you guys did like this video and you like the content that I'm bringing you, make sure you like the video and hit the subscribe button down below. And make sure to comment, interact with me. Tell me if you want to see more of this content, what other videos you would like to see in the future. I'm going to be bringing a lot more of this stuff. I'm going to continue to post weekly videos, so I'd love to hear what you guys would like to see more of. Again, if you or anybody you know is looking for a great realtor in the Okanagan, please do not hesitate to reach out to me or send me a referral. I'm never too busy for them. My goal, as always, is to simplify the real estate process so you don't have to focus on anything except moving into your next home. So if you do want to get in contact with me, all my information is listed in the description down below. Once again, I'm Brett Baholi. This is my channel, Brett B Real Estate. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.